Okay, hi everyone. I am Michael Downing, and I'm the current editor of the August Wilson Journal. And this is a simple training tape related to how to lay out an article for production. So I'm going to share my screen right here. And what you'll see is I'm dialing in the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, we've got an article that has been submitted by an author. And on the right-hand side, we've got the original template. And let me show you what that template is like. Okay, it says here, August Wilson Journal template for spring 2019. I should probably update that right now. I'm going to go ahead and rename it just so that I know that we're in spring 2021, and that's the one I'm using. It's the one that I know is correct. I'm not going to go too far down the details on that, just to try to keep this short. But my point is that whenever you open this document, it will produce a new document for you. So what you see up here on the document, when I opened it, it says document 4. See, so that's how a template works, right? So you're not overwriting any of the components of the template. So that's the first thing you need to know. Let me get out of the header here. So now it begins. On the left-hand side, again, is the article. It's been through the process and approved by peers, and it's ready to go. So we're doing layout now. We do have a layout person, but it's important for all editors to kind of understand what goes into it, because ultimately the responsibility is yours. And if everything is not correct and coherent, Pitt will kick it back. So I've already gone through just when I was practicing and made some changes. So let me describe. You've got the title of the article here, which needs to go title style placeholder. And you'll see that, right, it's different in terms of formatting. Title style placeholder is boldface, and it's in a larger font and everything. You'll notice that the font itself is Constantia, and it will vary in size, 8 point, 10 point, whatever. The cursor is blinking here at the 8-point site, but there it's 16. Now, I have had success copying and pasting things into the template. It sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't. Typically, I'll just type it just to make sure, and you'll see why in a moment. So I did some of that already, and let me see if I can retain that by doing this, okay? There we go. So I stopped short. I didn't put in the Gem of the Ocean part, so let me go back over here. So review of Art and Theater's production of Gem of the Ocean. And I could add that. I'm not going to right now. So you can see how that takes on that component. Now, what is important to understand then is I'm going to scroll down and, oh, the article's too short. Let's see if I can add something to it here to get to the next page, because there's a point I want to make. And you see here it says Downing, review of the Art and Theater's production. So in that automated heading, it is important then to get this information into that field. That's why copying and pasting sometimes doesn't work, because it pastes, but then the field doesn't recognize that that is there, and it doesn't give you the right outcome at the top of that page. Now, it thinks it's Downing now, but let's see if we can change this to Ellen Bonds. And Ellen is at Villanova. Okay, check the spelling there. Good. Now you would add any title like associate professor, professor, whatever that might be. And we've got Villanova, so that's correct. And let's go and see if it has caught up with us yet. It says Downing, so it's being weird. Do I need to click out of that? See, the idea is that once it's in that field, it should show you the correct author. It is fixable. It's got this part, but it's not showing us the correct author. So let's go here. So if I double click on this, I can change this to Bonds. Okay, so stay on the lookout for that. I don't think I can change the second part. Yeah, you see how that's in like a highlighted there. So I can change the first part, but not the second part, because that's already accounted for by the template. Yeah, the template, makes things easier and makes it all look good, but it's you're fighting the dragon a little bit. Okay, so far so good. So this is epigraph. So the epigraph is a quote from the article. So it can be somebody, an author. It could be August Wilson's words in the article, or like a quote from the play, or it can be the author, who is Ellen here. It says in paragraph 3, August Wilson's love of music. See? And again, that might not be the best quote that you want there. You know, it needs to be a representative quote. I'm just grabbing stuff and trying to keep things short here without dragging you through the whole process. Oh, in this case, it would be Ellen again, right? Okay. Now, you see that the template is a little bit wacky. I mean, you'd probably have a longer quote here, so it looks a little weird. But if I go to the beginning of Ellen, well, actually, it doesn't matter where I am, and I grab this in Word, and I can see I can drag this over. And if I go here, I can make minor corrections to make it add up on the page a little bit better. The abstract, typically, you know, you can write this article is about blah, blah, blah. You see that it is in Constantia 9, so that's good. And the rest of the article is in Constantia 10. So once you begin to develop your eye, you see that how all this hangs together. A word on abstracts is I tend to keep them short. Reason for that is because on the website, it asks when authors submit for them to give us an abstract. Now, maybe the policy needs to be reworked a little bit, but some people submit abstracts that are this long, and some people submit none or like nothing. So in terms of uniformity, right, you know, we can't run articles with 500-word abstracts sometimes and then a sentence. And when there are none, that means I need to write them, right? So I just try to keep them short for uniformity's sake. Future editors can do different things, but that's the download there. Keywords are here. Typically, August Wilson is part of it. And this would be theater. Let me get this right. We have Gem of the Ocean. Now, Gem of the Ocean here, I'm sorry about that. It's just a typo. I'm moving too quickly. Typically, according to MLA rules, Gem of the Ocean here would not be in italics. I've gone back and forth on that. I just keep it in italics because the keywords are all in italics, and it just, you know, it gets weird. Again, future editors can do things differently. All right. So at this point, then, I've had good success at copying and pasting. So I'm going to go over on the left-hand side here, and I'm going to copy the material here, and I'm going to go over on this side, highlight all of the body text, and then make sure I got the period there. In Word, then, if I right-click, this is Word on a PC, I have multiple options here for pasting. You know, now I don't want that. I don't want that. So it's going to be the using the destination theme, which is the template. I'm going to click on that, see what that looks like. Everything looks good. We've got one paragraph at the end here that's not tabbed in, so I'm just going to tab that in. So, you know, the template is very useful, but you also need to bring your eye into the mix. Okay, so far so good. I'm going to then maximize this, and we're going to go page by page. So one of the things you'll notice is that in this heading here, you know, the recurring logo, volume 1. So 2019 was volume 1. 2020 is volume 2. We are now into volume 3. And it seasonally, it depends on whether you're publishing spring and fall or, you know, so right now we're into spring 2021. Now that will change then on all of the headings. So volume 3, spring 2021, the title is there, the author is there, affiliation is there, the epigraph is there, abstract, keywords, and then boom, we're into the discussion. Should be fully justified. And that's all I'm checking for now. And we'll leave the works cited. So I'm going to scroll back up, and I'm going to go to the bottom of the first page. Now, the ISSN number never changes. The DOI does change. The first part of it does not. The digital object identifier all the way through that point never changes. However, and Z, who is our current designer, should know this, but the editors always need to check 2021. And then what you'll need there is the article here. So August Wilson Journal. Should be logged in. Let me get logged in. And well, right? I'm working with something from the archives, but I'm just trying to show you the article titles. Whoops, let me go back. I should have gone to editor. I wear a lot of hats, so sometimes I bounce around in different areas. So there's some things here in review and in editing. And just to show you this screen here. So the ID number of an article is how it is published. These articles are unique and are assigned to every single submission, whether it's published or not. So this is, the things here. So that's what you want to look for. So we do have archives, and I could probably find Ellen's here without too much trouble. Was it spring? Yeah. So hers is number 45. I can tell that here, and I can tell that from a variety of other views, on the website. And again, through that. So hers is just, it's right. It's not here available immediately. But that's what you want to look for, those numbers. Okay. I don't want to get too deep into that. So whatever hers was, let's just call it 45. And, we had to confirm it, right? So I think you get what I'm saying. I'm not trying to make it too complicated. So now the DOI is correct, and it'll be correct on every page. augustwilson.pitt.edu, that stays the same. The page numbers stay the same. And one of the things that sometimes happens is I'll correct volume 3, spring 2021, but for some reason it seems like this here is a different part of the template. Yeah, so it needs to be corrected. Now from this point forward, it should all be correct. I hope, right? So there we go. Bonds, and this is not. I don't know why. Okay, the DOI then is somehow not correct. Maybe it's because I need to save it. I see an error there. Things right. Save as. Okay, yeah, details, right? Yeah, I mean, and this for whatever reason is not computing. Probably because I'm trying to teach it, right? It usually works. I don't know what to say. So sorry about that. So now from top to bottom, volume 3, spring 2021, everything on this page looks right. It's fully justified. We've got August Wilson Journal 2021. The article number is 45. All of that is good. Volume 3, spring 2021. Yes. And August Wilson Journal, that's correct. Volume 3, spring 2021. We've got the author's name, review of the Ardent Theater's production of Gem of the Ocean. All of that looks correct. So then you'll be able to put in the works cited. Typically for a review, you've got almost nothing, but I typically put in and it's the Theater Communications Group version. So those are, yeah, I've got them back there. It's the collection. It's the big hardbound collection that I recognize as sort of the official, right, versions. So those are consistent. I can look at previous articles. I have it somewhere, right? 2007, I want to say. That needs to be confirmed. I don't know. And then your author bio is, Professor Ellen Bonds is whatever. Again, I tend to stay short with those. Some people will give you humongous paragraphs. They're like mini resumes, and then other people give you very little. So I typically go with the author's title and affiliation, and some part that connects them to the world of August Wilson studies, whether it's a book that they've published or whether they've lectured and taught, that kind of thing. Okay. All right, I think I've covered everything here. I'm going to stop this video and then do a separate one about metadata.